Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Home Nations Open Draw Results first round thing. Could do that again, but I'm not going to. So here we go. First round draw. Now, is it better? It's probably better to look at this format, isn't it? So that we can
Yeah, I
actually
think
see
I
what's
think it's a
going
bit
on.
more
Thanks, Jim.
chewable, shall we say?
I think Jimmy Fantastic would be proud of that intro. But you know
Indeed.
what? We're just that chillax around here. We're welcoming and we're inclusive, and not everyone can do a good intro. So that one goes out to all you out there trying to be YouTubers and can't do good intros. So we have Murder Queens versus the Gobblers. Yeah.
Straight off the bat, like when I was looking at that as a title without looking at the coaches, I was like, "Oh, that would be the Gobblers," because the Murder Queens they come to party in a sense, and like Ivan and Connor are the kind of actual MKBBL coaches. Arfon is a brand new coach, not yet got his NAF name, so pretty new to the gig. But they've got the ringer in Pippi.
Yeah.
The legend that is Pippi has somehow managed to be corralled into rejoining the Geordies and the Jocks. The Jocks and the
So
Geordies.
did Pippi just want to, get a team that are going to submarine to let him get best individual on 600?
Oh, he dropped me a line. He said, "Hey, I want to play. Like, get me a team." And it just so happened that, like, just as he said, "Get me a team," uh, Ivan come to me and said, "I need a player." And I was like, "Oh, I've got one for you. He's a really good one as well." Then they lost their fourth guy, so they've got Arfon now, who's a Welsh guy. So we've actually got uh, four nations there because obviously Ivan technically is an Aussie, although he's flying
Ah.
under the banner of Scotland because he's lived in Scotland for a long time. So yeah, I think the Gobblers will win that one. Although
Okay.
what's interesting there is Brock Dodge is a decent, good coach, and he's walked into the hardest matchup he could get on the other side. So in terms of quality of player, but, the racial matchup's not bad, I guess. Necro versus Lizards.
Yeah, no, definitely. Interesting. Then Team England, favourites for the tournament to retain it, I suppose, versus Blood and Tears.
Yeah, so that happens to be my PlayStation team that I go to the
Yeah.
World Cup with. So I'm sure the boys are thanking me loads for pressing the button now. Um, what can I say? Enjoy that one, lads.
Rather you than me, etc.
Yeah, I
um,
think we'll call that a win for England and say enjoy the breakfast pints to get you settled in, blood and tears.
yeah. And what's actually quite interesting, we have to go through these quite quickly because there's so many fucking matchups. But we've Awesome Party People New and Improved versus Awesome Party People Originals.
So it sounds like we were about to settle a debate straight away, right? You know, like who is the party people to hang out with? Like we will know by the end of round one.
That's crazy. Yeah, and GSP there saying he's played Blood and Tears last year, round one. Which is pretty funny. Um, yeah, so that'll be interesting as well. You have Valen, of course, and the kids, the lads, even. So,
Yeah, that's
uh,
that's an interesting one. I think Doug and Rydog. I think that's a draw. I think Doug and Rydog win their matches, and well, no, maybe not. I mean, it depends. Just
hmm,
Chris, who actually just is a substitute as of about an hour ago. He
okay.
managed to whack in his Tomb Kings. He's a relatively new coach, but he played the Tomb Kings at the weekend. So I think that's the crunch tie, believe it or not, because I think Gav wins his. And I think Doug and Rydog win theirs, and I think that the round is decided on Nobla versus Just Chris. There you are. Easy.
Yeah. I mean, I think Roy Dog's a good coach, but gnomes in this rule set are terrible.
Crikey. Yeah, I hadn't
Yeah.
spotted the race. Yeah, okay.
It's gnomes versus
Maybe
Norse, which I think
yeah,
doesn't favor Roy Dog.
yeah, okay, maybe I'll take that back. Okay. Maybe the originals then.
Yeah, and also Doug Lowe is probably better than Deep Fruit, but it's Nurgle versus Skaven.
Ah, yes. See, I've just gone on the coach. I've not even looked at the
Yeah,
races there.
yeah. I think the
Complete
races
amateur.
actually, the races I think actually make a big difference here. And then Barbados Hawaiian Dreamboats versus the Hebelish Superstars. I don't think I recognize any of these or 8 names. How about you, Jock?
Hebel are the guys up in Hull, which is the nearest league to me, and I think it's McPloppy is Andy Hewitt, and I think he's a decent coach. But I can't speak to the other guys, and obviously from what I understand, the Barbados Hawaiian Dreamboats, what a name, are coming from Derby, so
Yes.
local team. So you've got to favour them for home pitch advantage because they've not had to, get over the time difference between Hull and Loughborough, whereas Derby are like 20 minutes down the road. So yeah, favour them. That's my call.
Okay.
And Slan,
Fair.
they've got Slan, first
Oh,
Slan I've seen.
Davis.
So
I
automatic
do
win, right?
remember there only being one good slan build, though. Yeah.
Is it them?
No, GSP is the one good slan build.
Oh, okay. Of course,
Of
yeah.
course, of
GSP is
course
one.
it is.
Yeah. What
Sorry,
does
of
he know about
course.
vlogs? Yeah.
let me put on my welcoming and inclusive hat. Of course, they're all good slan builds because we've all paid
You
money
could
to come
say,
here, and we've all
yeah.
picked good skills, and there is no improvement that could be possibly made on any skill choices. Right, moving on.
Barbados like Barbados. Oh, okay, I see. Fooling. That makes sense. Paying
Team Water
attention.
Bowl versus the BBBLBs.
Water bowl. Right.
You're just going. You're just looking at a list, and it's like, they sound good. Let's go Water Bowl.
Well, they've got the pedigree, right? They're
Yeah,
one of
yeah,
the oldest leagues knocking about. You've got Phil in there. Affo as well.
yeah. No,
Renegades.
absolutely.
Affo and Renegades. Like that's a win, surely.
Instant win, easy. um,
Oh my goodness. The Scotland Futures are not going to thank me for that start.
no one's thanking you here, Jock. That's all I'm getting.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, you get punished for roster robbery, and I pressed your button, so I'm in trouble for that, I guess.
We'll just stand in the corner together, and everyone can just, get their abuse out first 5 minutes of Home Nations, and then we can move on.
Sounds like a plan. I could deal with that.
But yeah, go on. Tell us about your Team Scotland futures.
So they're captained by From Our Ashes, Phil Cairns, on Undead versus El Spunio on Amazons. That's going to be a tough match for Phil. He's going to a baptism of fire against El Spunio, who is a top quality coach.
Yeah.
Veldora, Mark Davison, obviously he's typically a lizard coach, but he's moved on to Necro for this rule set. But he's in everybody's dead Dave's house because he is an Elven Union main.
We've lost
so...
Jock.
Oh.
Hello, Jock. No, Jock's gone. It's okay. We didn't need Jock anyway. It's okay. We didn't need him.
And you hear me?
Oh.
You got me?
Although I can actually see Jock is talking, so maybe it's me. Technical difficulties. Right, 2 seconds. I'll be right back. Let me try and fix this. 2 seconds, Jock. Hello. Oh. Hi, chat. How are you? You should be able to hear me again. Hello, Jock.
I can hear you. Can you hear
Perfect. Yes, I can hear you now. Lovely.
Good.
Glorious. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but I've switched to my USB headset. So I think there was just some issue with my Bluetooth. So I lost hearing you, but I could see that chat could actually still hear you.
Indeed, indeed.
So
Yeah, so I was just talking about Valdora obviously taking on Necro, but everybody's dead, Dave, or Ed for short, is in his wheelhouse with Elven Union. So yeah, I fancy him to take that. And then obviously Cornish, one of the sexiest men in Blood Bowl, with that wicked beard of his, is going to take on Dons with vampires. So goodbye Blodge, and hello Death.
yeah.
Uh, is gone, and then Mr. Frodo, he's been around the block a while. He's a solid coach, but yeah, I think the Globetrotters are going to take their basketballs and have some fun here.
Yeah, it's a rough first round matchup, isn't it, for Team Scotland? Interesting that Mr. Frodo's on the Dwarves, considering I thought he was dead certain to play Norse, right?
He's a Norse main,
Yeah,
but I think he just decided that he wanted a bit of beef with the armor 10 and thick skull.
fair enough. Diva Dicers then versus Team Red Shirts.
So I don't know the Diva guys all that well. Don't you?
Uncle Hank, I know. Well, presumably it's the same Uncle Hank I see on Fumble and things. It's handy enough.
Yeah.
Um, I don't recognize the other guys.
Humble Duski. What a cool coach name though.
Yeah, it is a pretty cool coach name actually. It's pretty good. And Team Red Shirts.
Yeah, Team Redshirts, they're formidable. They're well drilled. They were at Kent Team Championship, and they play in team tournaments together. They've even got their own logo, just like Diva Dicers. So
Lovely.
even Stevens on that one, I guess. What's the matchups look like? Dwarfs
Uh,
v Zons. Dwarfs
yeah.
v Zons.
Wow.
Is this a preemptive strike of what Eurobowl might look like? Um, Humans
And
versus Necro.
and then Tomb Kings versus Chaos. Yeah. Interesting. I don't know. Dwarfs versus Amazons is a tricky one. Like I still kind of favor the Zons in that, honestly. But well, I should say normally I prefer Amazons. Obviously, the tree tackle mighty blow kind of evens the playing field quite a bit actually. Um, so maybe I don't actually favor Amazons that much in that anymore. Uh, Chaos versus Tomb Kings is quite a tough one actually for the Chaos, I think. But
Yeah, all that strength 5 running about. I think I see your Chaos Warrior and raise you a Tomb Guardian.
yeah, definitely. But the majority of the time, the Chaos will have block, and the Tomb Kings will only have guard, so you can always throw a cheeky, you know, uphill, and then you can get things rolling. But that means you're starting off with uphills and one Ds and stuff, which is pretty grim, isn't it?
Indeed.
So Doom League are up against Nash, Bash, and Dash.
Yeah, so a clash from different ends of the country because Doom League come from the northeast. I don't want to get my Sunderlands and Newcastles wrong, but I think they're Sunderland.
Oh, putting a reputation on the line there.
Yeah, could be wrong there, but Dean's the captain, feast eater.
Hmm.
Lovely guy. I met him at Geordie Bowl last year, and actually played against him. Had a good fun with him. He's a nice guy. And in fact, all the Doom League guys are good. I think we played against Doom League Tactics and Theatrics at Monkey Bowl as well. Tickets are on sale for Monkey Bowl, by the way. 11th and 12th of April next year. There you go, Dante. Check in the post, please, for that service. And then obviously you got Nash down in Gloucester, if my maths is right, led by the lovely Bimster as the captain there.
Ah, nice. Some very tricky matchups actually. We have a human vampire again, a renegade mirror, vampires versus chosen, and then orcs versus necro. So
Yeah, that's pretty balanced, isn't it, in terms of like what way it's going to go?
yeah, it is. It's
Because you're gonna
hard.
Just on racial matchup, Vamps will beat Chosen. Renegades, I don't know what happens. So you're the expert. What happens with a Renegade mirror?
It's just whoever rolls the most POWs. There's not really much tactics involved in that one. Let's be honest.
Oh, Hereford. Sorry, Wobert. Thanks for that. Wobert, my fellow TO, join us in the chat. He knows everybody. So yeah, Hereford, not Gloucester.
I mean, they're all the same to me, so they're all down there somewhere. Some of them aren't quite as far down as the others, but Hereford and Gloucester they're both quite down there, actually. And then we have Dabble in Destruction versus the Nibblers.
That's a really cool tie because obviously the Nibblers come across the Scottish Team Championships this year. So yeah, that's quite a nice sort of Celtic matchup round one, isn't it, for the pair of them?
Ayrshire versus Northern Ireland.
Indeed. I'm going to back the Nibblers though. They came fourth last year in the
They had a very strong performance, yeah.
the Open, yeah. So like they're obviously trying to get the Northern Irish Eurobowl team off the ground, and I know Padster's kind of leading the way there, and he's sort of starting to build the squad there. So yeah, I find it hard to look past the Irish. Although that said, Mark Cowan was the only coach at STC to put a loss into the Scottish Exiles over the whole weekend. He beat San in round one.
Yeah.
He's named his Roger after San. So I
Yeah,
think Ronnie's got a hard match there, hasn't he?
I think Ronnie has a tough game, but I think Gary and the rest of the lads will I think they'll be okay, actually. Looking at the matchups.
Yeah, it's interesting because David Auld, he was Vamps last year, but he's bringing humans this time around.
Yeah. So yeah, very cool. And then probably one of my favorite names of team names, actually, the Democratic Republic of Yorkshire. It's beautiful. Even if I didn't like Spleggy's High Elf roster, he was still kind enough to sub to me.
I'm going to call this, so at this point in time, so far, and maybe not for long, looking at the ones below, but this looks like the tie of the round in the Open for me.
That's interesting.
Because you've got Warka, who's a top coach, and then you've got Pooh on the end of a stick, one of the greatest NAF names of all time. And then you've got Don Vito, Team England player, somehow snuck in to wear the black and white strips of the Geordies. And Bucky's not bad as well. So like they're awesome. And then obviously on the other side you've got Spleggy, Johnny.
Yeah.
This is a good matchup.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one. Bang Average Blood Bowl versus Tactics and Theatrics. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I mean, Tactics and Theatrics are probably, if you could call it, second favourite behind Team England. They're really on a roll. They won Tillian Team Cup this year. Not quite with the same lineup, but if you look at the coach names there, they're top class. Breakbunker was in the England squad last year. Bashto and JJ were part of the winning team in Italy. And HD with his zones has come on a treat in the last season, so super solid. But then equally, sick as eggs, they know what they're doing, right?
Yeah, very good coaches, absolutely. Yeah,
That'll be one to watch.
will be. I think that'll be pretty good. And you'll get to enjoy watching all these. I unfortunately just can't afford to give any thought to these matchups at all during the weekend. It's very much something like I'll digest on like a Saturday evening or Sunday evening. But
Indeed, and it won't just be me that'll be able to watch. This probably is an appropriate juncture to mention. But whilst you are packing up your streaming microphone to obviously roll some hard dice against us in the first round, we actually have Dizzy Bess and Collie who are actually going to stream live the Home Nations. So it's going to be their job to pick out a sort of tie of the round, if you will, or a match of the round, and kind of float between the bowl and the open. But yeah, it's going to be live all weekend on Twitch on Dizzy Bess's channel. So if you aren't at Home Nations, and why aren't you? But if you aren't, you will be able to watch live what's going on. So it'll be
Absolutely.
interesting to see which match they alight on for the first one.
Yeah.
So,
I have volunteered to pop in for an interview at some stage as well. Can't keep me away from the microphone. I won't be censored. I will have my hot takes out there. I'm gonna come in after game one and I'm gonna slander Chris Connolly. That's
it's all right. He'll be too hungover. He won't notice.
I'll just come in and I'll just do the exclamation mark RNG live on Dizzy Vessa's stream.
A live rendition. That I'd pay good money for that. I tell you.
You should just, when you're handing me the wooden spoon, that's what I'll say. Anyway, we should probably move on to the champs team, the champs matchup. Oh, champ got vampires, unlucky Dim. Southwest Scrumpers versus the SBBL Nomads.
Yeah, so the lads that sort of are led by Salty, good London lad. Southeast Hastings, that's kind of like London anyway, isn't it? It just all merges into one anyway, Dimmy. So yeah, I fancy them. I fancy the Nomads to get off to a winning start there. Maybe.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, I was looking at the racial matchups. They're tricky matchups for the Nomads there.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. I mean, I don't know any of the Southwest Scrumplers. I don't think it's quite hard to know people anyway. The way tour play displays, like it often displays like their real names as opposed to their NAF names, so it's quite hard to recognize everyone because not everyone has set up their tour play correctly.
Indeed. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Dimmy and Salty are pretty good. It's quite hard to look past them. So I'd like Dimmy to win. In fact, I'd like Dimmy to win something. No, you know what? I'm gonna say I'd like Dimmy to win the Open. Actually, I don't think he will, but I'd like him to do it. You know, like I'd like Ireland to win the Home Nations Bowl. Don't think it'll happen, but it'd be nice. DBBL Skulls versus the LBBL. Yeah, I'd like Dimmy to win something.
Yeah, London lads coming up the road to show the Midlands lads how it's done, or Danny to lead his team to triumph, I guess.
Yeah, sounds right. I mean, you know, again, I'm kind of out of my depth here, not knowing any of these guys. Matchup wise,
yeah,
some Orcs versus Skavens again, Orc versus Renegades. I mean, Danny's going to be in with a shot with most casualties getting Underworld round 1.
A few of those little nobblers.
Yeah, make the Underworld go splat. You know, that's what I'd be looking at as Danny right now. It's like, okay, you know, most Kaz could be on the table here. Let's go. Yeah, cool. Granite City Seagulls versus the Scabators. I love this name, Scabators. It's so good, isn't it? It just.
So here it rolls off the tongue, but we've got probably the most separated teams aside from international teams traveling over, but in the British Isles, where we've got the Aberdonians meeting the guys from sort of Downway, Kent way.
Yeah, I mean, Aberdonians. I mean, it's more like Aberdonian in that Sean. I'm pretty sure the other 3 guys are from Wales, aren't they? They're from Cardiff.
Oh, are they? Are they?
Yeah,
are they?
Yeah, this is
Aberdonians in disguise.
I think so. I think for Home Nations and UKTC, Sean just kind of goes off and plays with his couple of mates from down the road. Because usually, like the other four would be like Phil, McNaughton, Shrike, and Full Fat Beard would be like the proper, and
Although
obviously
you say
Huntley
that,
Loon and all of them.
Fred Van Walking, I know him. He's Scottish, but he
Okay.
lives in. He's a nice chap actually. I've spoken to him a couple of times. The last couple of times I've been down at the Welsh National. Still has tickets available in the 16th and 17th of January. There you are. Another out to another good UK tourney.
I actually signed up to that. My first Welsh gonna be this
Oh, are
year.
you in?
Yeah, well, I signed up. I paid good hard cash. I haven't appeared on the attendance list yet. Uh, so I either want to be on the list or a refund issued.
Give Jayward a nudge at the
Yeah,
weekend, I guess.
yeah, that was my plan. But no, it should be good. But
If I was a betting man, I would probably say Scavatours here. I think both Stu and Eldridge Fox. Don't know the coach names of Ash, Matt, and Tommy. Maybe Dimmy can tell us who they are. But I think those two are strong boards. So I think they'll get good wins there.
yeah, yeah, I think so. Um, just fair enough. And the Merry Men versus the Tartan Trailblazers. The Welsh is
No,
like
this is gonna be.
£38, Bernie, I think. Sorry, Jock.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, I think the Welsh is like £38 to sign up for, isn't it? Something about that.
Uh, I couldn't tell you. I think I've handed my money over.
And
Paid.
since we're on it, right? By the way, there are still tickets available for the Scottish National,
Indeed.
which is on.
28th of February and 1st of March in Glasgow at the University Union, which is where the Scottish team champs were this year. It's a really nice venue.
There you go. Can't be shouting all these, mainly English tournaments, and not shout out, the main tournament that you and me should be going to.
Well, I'm signed up. I'm signed up. We're over 100 now for Mulligan, so it's a big deal this year. And then obviously you've got the NAF Super Series and the Triple Crown. So the question will be whether David will defend or whether Fulian will rip that title from his paws as he tries to defend Mulligans for the second year.
Yeah, incredible. Lovely. So yeah, the Merry Men versus the Tartan Trailblazers. As we were before, I rudely interrupted ourselves and derailed the stream. So we have a High Elf mirror first of all for Lord Gibby and Bogey. And Chris Raff is putting his high ELO undead on the line again. And Melon versus Chris. And then we have Amsfeld versus Adam Archer. Yeah, it's just actually impossible to say who's playing who with these the layout of these names. Obviously we know quite a few of the Tartan Trailblazers.
Yeah, I'm going to say this entirely rests on the alcohol consumption plan of the Trailblazers, because
Yes.
I know that they're looking to land in Loughborough at about 1 o'clock, and I believe they're going to sort of party on through. So, if anybody's looking for a swell time, I think you'll probably find the Trailblazers leading the path at the Student Union Bar, and I think they may well come to regret that Saturday morning.
Yeah, could well be. And maybe not to tie it around in terms of actual Blood Bowl happening, but in terms of team names, Old Brothers Where Art Pow versus Beds, Blocks and Beyond is an incredible matchup.
Indeed, Old Brothers Where Art Pow is maybe one of my favourite team names
I think
of
so.
this whole tournament. It's such a cool team name. Um, I'm not sure who the coaches are with proper names there. Where the
Yeah,
Dachshunds.
I know Chris
Uh,
Black, I think. Um, I think, am I right
yeah,
in saying these are Sheffield lads? Can I remember? Am I right in
they
that?
may well be. Who knows?
And then,
Are they
yeah,
in
I'm
chat?
not sure about Bed, Block and Beyond.
Oh, GSP saying that the Merry Men are noble guys. So it's a tough matchups for the
Ah.
Trailblazers. To be fair, I think the Trailblazers may well be their own worst enemy with the amount of cocktails that I expect to see Amstel being consumed.
In
I
fairness,
remember seeing.
yeah,
Sorry,
go on.
I was gonna say I remember seeing him at UKTC absolutely struggling physically and sort of like standing, hovering over the board, trying to do a one turn with Woody's, and just like the mental capacity was not there because he'd used his brain cells up the previous night.
Brilliant. I mean, although, Ben has since learned how to one turn, so, home nations, watch out. Drunken Masters versus Nash Smashed and Lashed.
So I wonder what's going to happen in this match then. I imagine table service is going to be well used based on these names.
Yeah.
No, it's my round. No, it's my round. How about we both get a round? I think
There'll
that's
just
how
be
this
3 points
conversation.
per person.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. It's pretty good, isn't it? Again,
So
like,
the Drunken Masters come from Chippenham, or they might be the Barrel Lords from Devizes. They're sort of in and attached around to in Yellow Ox. And then obviously the Nash guys are Hereford Gang. I'm probably going to lean towards Smashed and Lashed on this one.
fair enough. Yeah, I'm trying not to say too much either way, because when I just don't know any of the coaches, it's quite hard for me to say anything, isn't it?
Indeed.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a tasty tie coming up.
Okay. In Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, the Electric Boogaloo is hiding the fact that this is the Maltese. So we're in the bowl last year, did very well, and they're sending some chaps over to do a number on the Open. And then obviously you've got Hackflem, Globetrotters, Team Blue. So this is a tasty tie, I would say.
Yeah. Should be a good one. Just having a quick look, like Skaven versus Chaos. Looking at the team matchups, right? I'd actually fancy Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, the first two ties look like they're going to Malta. The third one looks like a fun-filled draw.
Yeah, you think so? Maybe the Hackflem could snake that one, but you wouldn't know.
Yeah, they probably because tackle's not going to really make a difference there. I'm calling it now. Flamethrower to win the match.
Crazy. Could well do. And then yeah, the second dabble team versus actually no, I think Team Ocean Gate Rises is actually one of my favorite ones. But we have another Scotland off, basically, don't we?
Yeah, I mean they're very close to each other because like Badgie and Seducer the Trolls are sort of in the borders, and then obviously the Dominion boys up at Ayr are just like an hour up the road. So this is almost you could call this a local derby
It
down
is.
in England.
Yeah.
So there'll be a lot on the line there. Lots of bragging rights here.
I think I remember from the preview. Was it Karak came in, and he was like, I didn't realize this team competed for like the wooden spoon last year, so there's no pressure on me. Something like that.
Although, as Badger likes to point out, they are sporting a Maltese kid. And if you know your Maltese kids when it comes to Blood Bowl,
Yeah, I'm glad you fucking clarified that. Gotta be careful, Jock.
Inclusive. That's what we're here
Inclusive, yes. Yes, the Maltese kids are quite like the Italians of football, aren't they? Everyone wants at least one on their team.
The Roberto Baggios of Blood Bowl.
Yeah. Silky schmood. Right.
Moving on.
WS10 humans versus the Plan of Yukagas. Amazing.
What I like about the WS10 humans is Liam named them WS10 humans because I think that's what he was playing and didn't realize that was going to be the squad name.
Oh, okay.
the time they got everybody in, he was like, "Oh shit, it's supposed to just be WS10." So yeah, they've got an added human tag
I
there.
thought it was just going to be his postcode.
Yeah, and there we go. Well, Andy Dable would be all over them if that was
Yeah.
the case. Who knows? And then obviously, uh, I'm not Welsh enough for that, but obviously it's the shepherd that's captaining those boys. Former TO of the Welsh national. I played against. Did I play against that other Asian guy or the other Asian guy? I can't tell. Um, one of them. I played one of them
Mm-hmm.
at Cardiff last year.
Yeah.
What a great coach name, just for me to just like walk straight into that. Was
Yeah.
it that other Asian guy or is it was the other Asian guy?
I
I can't
mean,
tell.
that's up there with the Maltese kids, back to back.
Can we move on?
Yeah, this team's getting fierce dodgy. Jock's cancelled before the whole nations. Priest Pack
I'll turn up
Plus.
my own tournament.
Yeah, keep digging. I think so. Priest Pack Plus versus Arcadius Gaming.
So I think this is a derby as well. If I'm right in thinking, the Priest Pack. Oh no, the Priest Pack are London boys, Eyeball Paul, but Arcadius Gaming win the title for closest to the venue because they are a gaming club in Loughborough.
Oh, okay.
So they are on home turf, and Chuck Dread is. It was quite funny actually because they came onto the scene and Arcadius Gaming was playing in their very first tournament. 4 guys with 4 brand new NAF names, and they had a whale of a time. And it's been really great to see them sort of embrace the game. So yeah, certainly I've seen Chuck on my travels in Sheffield, in Cardiff, and elsewhere. So yeah, really pleased to see those lads come forward. It's a tough one to tell. What was interesting is they turned up with stunties last year, but they're playing a bit more serious now. They've got Zons and Necro and Humans.
Ooh. I mean, once you start off at the bottom, there's only up, really, isn't there?
Yeah, indeed. I think that would be an interesting match to watch. Because obviously, Eyeball Paul and the likes, they've been around the block.
Yeah.
They're blood bowlers to their core versus the newer guys. Again, they're walking to the venue, so they don't have any time difference to get over. They've been training at altitudes. They could pull a shock win there, I think.
Yeah, that'll definitely be interesting to see what happens. And then we have the Breeb Chip Stealers versus the All Infidels.
So Salty Sea Wench, I know, comes from down south, so I'm guessing they're kind of Stewbacker's neck of the woods in the southeast. And then obviously the Indorals, Infidels. Indoral's a very quality painter, and in fact, he is the judge this year, or one of the judges, the expert judge, if you will, for the painting competition. Details to be released tomorrow on how to enter if you've got some nice models that you want to show off. You've also got obviously the lovely glowworm and kind of a squad chaos mix there. So they boys will be making use of table service. I'm pretty confident of that.
My chatter correct me in that it's bribe Chip Stealers, so apologies for that, everyone. Glorious. And then we have the Crusaders, who are all different nationalities. That's pretty cool, isn't it? I remember we were talking about that in the preview. Versus the Albion Coast Savages.
Oh, I'm not sure where the Albion Coast Savages come from.
Well, the Albion Coast, obviously.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Which part of the Albion Coast?
I
And
mean,
they sound fearful, frightening.
I mean, they're savages. That's what I've heard. But they're up against the Crusaders, so they're on a mission, and they have an amazing logo.
And they've got a boy from Chile, so like, surely that's worth a win. Just like for,
Yeah.
I mean, he's definitely trained at altitude in the Andes, right?
Definitely. Cool. Well, I mean, look, the Crusaders have put more effort into the logo, so I think we'll have to give it to them, based on nothing other than the fact that they have a cool logo. Even if it does have,
Dazamaka is a good coach as well. a decent coach, and I recognise Torian Beast as a name.
Mm,
So yeah, maybe they'll do it.
maybe. Who's to say?
Who can tell?
Who can tell what's gonna happen? Until someone sits down and rolls some dice. Literally anything could happen. Incredible. Derby Rams and Sheepdogs versus Claw on tour. Let's go, Claw.
Well, surely Claw is better than Sheep's. Like, surely they just like shear the sheepdogs.
Yeah, and I mean it's also a stunty team versus a real team. So you have Necro versus Ogres, Slan versus Halflings, High Elves versus Gnomes, and Orcs versus Goblins. So I think Claw wins this one.
Yeah, I think we're in safe territory there to call that a win.
Or are we? Who
Indeed,
knows?
Goblins could fire.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing's for sure: the Derby Rams and Sheepdogs are going to have fun, right? That's what's going to happen there.
Yeah. I mean,
Got
we're all
a
going to have
lot of
fun.
time for an all stunty team,
Yeah. Like, just getting that organized more than anything else.
fighting over who's doing the goblins.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, Claw on
Like
Tour
the
is just an
Renegade.
incredible name as
Yeah,
well, Timmy.
yeah. It's
Um,
like Renegades on the Ireland team.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
you couldn't decide, so no one played
This
Renegades.
is
Is that how
it.
that works?
We just had to leave all the renegades at home. It's like, okay, you can have your renegades for Budapest, but they're not coming to Loughborough. Sorry, guys.
Overpowered.
No Idea versus Team Wales.
So no idea are part of the Chippenham Forge Breakers lot, led by Tony and Dan. They do some really nice one-day tournaments with some cool fluff down there. Ronald Bino's around the scene, I guess, and as is Barnacles is not bad, but Team Wales, right?
Mm.
They didn't pick crap people, surely, to play for Wales.
Well, it's quite hard to get on the Welsh team, I've heard. Not everyone can just
Yeah.
be Welsh. Am I right in saying that Barnacles played for Team Wales last year?
Yeah, I think he is on or was on the Welsh setup.
Yeah.
Perhaps Gav can confirm that.
The name definitely sounds very familiar to me.
Yeah, Danny's saying Dar was like 6 at the NAFC on that last one. Yeah,
Mhm.
Danny Dazamak had a very good NAFC this year for sure.
Yeah. Team Wales looking strong. Cool. Again, like it's just so hard to say without seeing everyone's proper like NAF names. Like at least, obviously being based up in Scotland and I don't travel too much down to Wales or, the Midlands other than like home nations and one or two tournaments. So it's quite hard to know people's real names. Well yeah, that'd be pretty cool. And then we have Team Scotland. This is like what, the fourth or fifth Scottish team in the
Yeah,
Open,
so we
Jock?
have the Open Team Scotland, and then we've got the Team Futures because we actually have a 16-man squad in effect. So the 12 make up the official squad for the Bowl and the Open. The futures are perhaps future caps, as the name
Mm.
suggests. Although credit to from Harash is for that because I just called him the development squad and he come up with the name futures, which I think is quite cool. So that
Yeah. So we have Mornevel, Shrike, Chile, and McElhenney, who are all pretty good coaches.
they are. Although interesting matchups for a couple of them, right? Undead versus Woodies.
Mm-hmm. Ryan definitely would prefer to be on the Woodies in that matchup.
Yeah.
And
And then OWA against Undead. I mean, how's that roll? I mean, I suppose I think Callum's using a tree rather than an ogre.
yeah, I think the Undead take that one. I think Undead are actually kind of tricky enough for OWA. But you never know. Dauntless and the tree, like you say. Dauntless on the Troll Slayer. And the tree can kind of do some work. But I probably would favour the Undead in most matchups. But, coaching comes into play. Then you have Pro Elves versus Renegades. And, I mean, the
Chile's a
Renegades...
good coach.
Yeah.
Chile's definitely a good coach. I would fancy him in that matchup.
Mm. Yeah. and then a necromantic mirror. So that'll be fun. Oh, is
And like
Paul's GSP's brother apparently.
it is, he is, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ah.
Good coach in his own right. That's an interesting matchup. I think that's not a gimme either way. I would say that's
Hmm.
going to be a tussle, which is what you want to see. You know, you want to see the best coaches in the country coming in from all four corners to battle it out. So I think that's definitely a cool tag to keep an eye on.
Yeah, we have some good first round matchups for people here. And then obviously, some people are just going to have really, really tough weekends, aren't they? Like, if you look at who they're playing round one, and then it's just, like, it's just going to get worse and worse, isn't it?
Indeed,
You'd
indeed.
imagine. Um, yeah.
Points for you. Now that is optimism, isn't it?
I think it's like all of their like their first tournaments or something like that. I remember saying this, or have I just manifested this in my own head because I joked about this? I actually can't remember. I could be
Right.
bullshitting
Let me have
completely.
let me have a look at the spreadsheet because I was looking at um thingy bobbies. I mean they've got yeah. Well, if you look at their NAF numbers, they're quite high.
Hmm.
34,500
Oh, there's
is a
another
NAF number.
slan here. Let's open it up. Yeah, they went for the DP lino, which I thought was very interesting. So we won't say any more on that really.
Lots of block as well.
Lots of block, and then a strip ball wrestle, which is kind of nice, and then also a strip ball. So it's one of those. I don't know. Did I say at the time where I was like, it has the right
Oh,
ideas.
Barney's saying they're new water bowlers.
Ah, okay.
They'll come with good background and training from the lads up there, I'm sure. They're in the Water Bowl League. I have to say, I've stopped playing League Blood Bowl, but I think if I was close enough, Water Bowl, I'd definitely play in the Water Bowl.
Yeah, you just want to play KFO all the time.
Indeed, he's such a fun guy.
Incredible. Yeah, welcome to Blood Bowl. Your first game is against KFO. And then they're up against the Forge Breakers team Pink.
I know Dan well because he plays on B&T every now and then. He's a nice guy. He'll have a tough matchup with the Froggies leaping over his head, perhaps.
Yeah. I mean, Zons versus Flan. I don't mind it as Zons, honestly. I think it's okay. Um, but yeah, it's like anything. They can always just leap in and steal your ball, and then you just try and get it back.
Yep, Gobsmack. I must fancy him. He must have a mighty blow tackle, right? See off the halflings.
Oh yeah, yeah. The if he has a mighty blow tackle humans, he does. He also has a cannoneer thrower, but the mighty blow tackle will be really good against the flings. Cannoneer
You gotta
thrower
lo- you
less
gotta
less good.
respect a man that yeah, you gotta respect a man that is there for the passing game. Like he's a romantic at heart.
I think this is the halfling team I really liked. I didn't quite understand the sprint sure feet tree. Thought it could have been better. Like it could have been block pro, but I really liked this one. I think this was pretty cool. Yeah. I
Yeah,
like
Puggy and Rodney. Why
yeah.
not?
And a chef and a keg and four rerolls. They're just gonna do everything. I don't got a sure hands, Phil. No, no. But yeah, that's pretty much it. For the Home Nations Open. Do you have some predictions, Jock? Who's
Oh,
going to win the Home Nations Open?
I'm gonna back my boys in the tactics and theatrics to turn over
Oh, Jock, I
the.
thought you were going to say Scotland there for a second.
Oh, sorry. I play with tactics and theatrics in team tournaments across Europe. So yeah, I think they come very close to to doing a number on them. And I mean, obviously Pete W's in there. He's a top class coach. Scouse Boy obviously won the MVP for the Open last year. And then my man Greenskin Phil, my fellow frogman, pretty good. And then obviously you've got El Planet, a NAF champ winner. I mean, what a lineup! But yeah, no, I think my tactics and theatrics have got enough in the tank to get it done.
I think
I
that
think I think
soundbite right there is good enough to not get you re-elected next year. My tactics and theatrics. Meanwhile, there's about 16 Scottish teams.
yeah, club and country, isn't it? I guess is in that sense.
Uh-huh.
Tax and theatrics, my club colours in that sense, as are
but,
blood and tears, obviously.
but you're not captain of your club team, are you?
No, that's true. I am not. I'm basically the kit man that organises the tickets.
Yeah, fantastic. So yeah, I mean it will be close. I think between England and tactics and theatrics. I think. I don't know if I have
I
any
mean,
other favorites actually. Let me open up
I
that
don't think
other
you
link you
can.
sent me.
I don't think you can say no to Hackflem, the red squad. They'll be there and thereabouts.
Yeah, I'm just bringing it over to the spreadsheet once again, just because there are so many names I'm not going to remember. So here we are. Yeah, okay. In terms of the highest, average highest ELO, which gives an indication, doesn't mean everything. Could probably go more
I've name
simple.
checked the top three. It's almost as if I studied that spreadsheet. I haven't, but
Hmm. But what about, squad seedings based on highest NAF rank with race used? Team Wales are up there. Look at that. I mean, T Wales are sixth on highest average as well.
yeah, I mean it's interesting. It's quite cool to see that Team Wales and Team Scotland are up there with some of the best in England. Um, I'm curious to see how we go ultimately. I know my lads in the Open, they're also fighting for a squad seat on the bowl for Hungary. So they'll be looking to do well in that sense. If they get a chance to take a pop at any of the top English teams, they'll want to do well, and I'm sure they will. I'm sure they'll give themselves a good showing. It
Yeah.
is quite exciting because obviously, like last year, we had 18 teams, but with 54, there's like, obviously a lot more in the mix ultimately.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. I think it's quite hard, right? I was just having a quick look on the squad, based on the rank being used, right? And you can tell after like the first, you know, nine, it just completely drops off because loads of people are using like races they've never used before. Um, because obviously there's a couple of them with sub 100 averages, which means they've obviously never played with the teams before, which is
Yeah, I think one of the things that, in fairness to the guys, I think one of the things that's Chewbacca did was didn't necessarily count the races at 150.
hmm
So we shouldn't be seeing like, wouldn't read into like Team Scotland at 129 to mean anything because I
yeah,
don't think the 150 rates have been calculated type thing in that sense. So I'm more inclined to look at highest rank because that kind of gives me a sense of skill ceiling rather than the races. Although obviously, if you're piloting a new race, it will make a difference. But I'd have
yeah,
more faith in the left table rather than the right table.
yeah, I think so. But again, at the end of the day, it can only give you an indication, right, of what's going to happen. Um,
Indeed.
but yeah, like if you looked at this and you saw like, I think you could be pretty certain that most of these will probably be in the top 20, right? They will,
I would. In fairness, I think the top 10 should be in the top 15
yeah,
by the end of it.
probably,
Like I'd be, if you're dropping out of the top 15, I mean it's hard to say, right? Because like LBBL with Danny, like they're a solid team. You'd expect them to potentially climb the ladder above their predicted, elo rank type thing. So yeah, these elos aren't obviously set in concrete, so to speak. They'll be moving up and down. I would say. Um, Yeah, it'll be. I do think I'm waiting for the Team England tactics and theatrics round to be drawn because I think that's one that gets televised to the masses on Disney Stream.
Yeah, yeah. I think there's a couple of them. There's a couple of picks around, like even like Team Scotland versus Wales, and versus England in the Open as well is quite important. But then it gets into your local leagues and stuff, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and actually that's something I brought in this year because obviously we had 18 teams, but with 54. We've got league teams in there as well as national squads. And so, as well as a sort of trophy for the team that obviously wins the Open, we've also got a trophy to give out to the highest placed league team. So, the guys that are kind of representing their leagues, aren't just shooting for ultimate glory of winning the tournament. They're shooting for the sort of boast of being the best league in the country, in the home nations, across the British Isles. So, there's that to shoot for as well. So
Yeah,
that'll be an interesting competition to watch in and of itself.
yeah, definitely. That's pretty cool. Um, so yeah, I don't know if we have much else to say, do we? That's
No, I just look forward to welcoming everybody. Obviously, on Friday afternoon at the Student Union pub. If you're about, come down and hang out with the Tartan Trailblazers, who I believe are going to ensure that a party is had on Friday night. And then obviously Saturday morning we get underway with registration first thing. Teas and coffees are going to be available. And then obviously hot lunches and Sunday morning for those that need a little pick me up. We've got hot rolls, bacon and sausage rolls, and vegan sausage for vegan and vegetarians, to start the day off the right way if you can't face the full English first thing in the morning.
lovely.
Um, uh,
I mean, who can ever face a full English? Come on. I've just given a shout out to Dizzy Best there, who's going to be doing the live coverage. Obviously, most of us will be at the tournament. We won't get to tune in, but if you can just drop him a follow, I'm sure they'd very much appreciate it. But I suppose until Saturday morning, we'll leave it there, so. And
Indeed.
like to thank everyone for watching. I'd like to thank Jock for joining us and doing the draw and having the crack and the banter with me. And hopefully everyone's enjoyed watching. So when Ireland win the wooden spoon, you can all just come up and laugh in my face and say, haha, you're shit and you have terrible takes.
Wow. That probably puts a bit more pressure on the Scotland match for us.
Yeah.
If you're kind of talking up the wooden spoon, we definitely have to win that match. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Right, we'll leave it there. So thanks everyone for watching. Bye now.